Welcome. Welcome back. Another day, another lecture. 12-stage view, looking at relationships. Just sprung on me a minute ago by a student. So, what is the view of relationships in stage one?
They serve you.
Yeah, you're getting needs met. You're lonely, you get a relationship. You're fearful of the outer world, you get someone to go through the world with, possibly protect you, two against the world, better than one. This is what relationships are there. In a way, it could look like stage two, but it could be one, depends on how conscious you are, but the formal relationship structures of traditional cultures, where somebody from the forest family marries somebody from the sawmill family, great. We can mill your wood, we'll grow your wood. Oh, my son, your daughter, That's stage one, stage two. It's stage one because if it's fulfilling everybody's desires in a big way, it's really one. If it's something really thought out, like an arranged marriage in a good way with astrology and so on, and you're controlling the wild energies for a greater outcome for everybody, it's more like stage two, right? Using the awareness and the clear seeing and awakening of Vikshiptarashta, of seeing through false forms, right? Then you're saying, well, the false forms you'd see through at stage two, if you had control over them, is like romance. Romance is highly unsustainable, right? It's like a fire, it needs new fuel all the time. So if you're stage two in a good way, and you're experiencing, we want to have stable relationships based on good karmas and so on, we're going to use the astrology charts and look at the nadis and the family histories, and then you're looking at least a minimum of stage two for choosing a relationship, right? Of course, once you bring astrology from someone who's working at stage 8, then the relationship view could be higher, right? But just applying consciousness, awareness into relationships in any form is stage 2 already. And very few people do that, right? Oh, look at our goats. They made it out way back to the grass in Shambhu land. Cute. The little white clouds and a green sea. Look at them. So, pretty much stage 2 way of relating, or the idea of having relationships, still dualistic. In the first stage you're consuming, in the second stage though, you might be trying to make a conscious choice around it, you know what I mean? But it's still dualistic. You wouldn't say it has a whole lot of heart at stage 2, not yet, not like a wisdom heart, not like a compassion heart. Because the Vishayonurag, this energy that drives the level of Vishayonurag, is very much is very sensual, sexual, the first 3 chakras kind of thing really drives it. So a lot of that takes up till stage 3 to wear off, you know what I mean? So even in stage 2, when you're choosing, it's like, well, you could be in reaction against that to choose something. It still means it's running it. Or you could be trying to choose it to work with it, but it's a conscious movement of it, and that's stage 2 really. So I would say that like most American marriages are some combination and proportion, Australian, of stage 1 and 2. Very few stage 3. Because a stage 3 marriage, a stage 3 relationship, unless it's like your 3rd or 4th marriage, that kind of thing, or you've really learned how people work and you work and what the purpose of marriage, and and you let all that stuff go, and you'll accept yourself and you accept situations the way they are, and you accept the other person, and you can meet in a whole different place. That's like a stage 3 marriage, Most of us don't start that way. I mean, we are conscious beings and we try to do that, right? But the truth is that the karmas are so undetectable, the subtle karmas, unconscious and subconscious karmas, that they still run our choice of relationship partner, pretty much. I always looked at this, like, when it came to dating and just, being a young man sowing my wild oats, I was constantly attracted to always being with Asian women. And it just seemed that way. It just seemed karmically that way. I didn't go to Asia hunting Asian women. It was just this way. Whether it was in America, in Chinatown, in high school, my first girlfriend was my best friend's sister, and they were a Chinese family, or whether, it was Thailand, wherever. And it was interesting. And then I married 2 complete milquetoast girls, one from California, one from Australia, right? Not in that order. And I thought that was interesting. And Ivar brought it up to me one time, and I thought, yeah, it's very interesting. So what's the subtle, subconscious, unconscious patterns that still run our choices, right? So we say we're, consciously choosing at stage 2, but are we really? How much are we consciously choosing? we've woken up a bit to the idea that there's some choice that should be made in a relationship so it works out really well, but how awake are we? Obviously, it's stage 2, not that awake, right? It's the beginning, it's only the beginning. So you see people, make good solid choices. Well, her parents are nice and she's real stable and I'm real stable. Okay, that's a stage 2 kind of thing. So 1 and 2 tends to run most of it, right? A horrible example would be, let's say, because you got to see the full spectrum of this in a relationship. If you have these groups in America, I can't remember the name of them, they're all over the place. They're in Australia, Europe, where Christians see homosexuality as some kind of pathology, right? And they have these centers where you go to get like therapy. And the highlight of it for them is to get them married, to get them into a heterosexual marriage. Then, they pat themselves on the back, I've done it, and everybody feels like, yes, you're getting better, you're not sick anymore, it's weird. So if you were a person who was homosexually oriented, who married heterosexually because of what you thought you should do, that would be a stage 2 relationship, right? Because you don't really know your true nature. You're scared of your true nature. You're scared of the energy here it's trying to show you. And you're doing something you think is right with clear seeing. So it can work like not so good too, in this way. You follow? Or you make a choice, you think you want to go out with somebody or marry somebody that you think is a good choice for reasons that you think, like this. Like after my first marriage ended, about 2.5, 3 years after we were separated, divorced, well, not divorced, that took a long time, but separated, living in different countries, and totally knew it was over for us, I said to myself, I had a stage 2 moment, terrible stage 2 moment, like a huge drop back, and I was like, okay, my natural appetites aren't working. I'm going to let someone else design the whole program, let someone else choose a partner for me, like this kind of idea, just to try something completely different outside your karmas. Or let the person choose me, or, like that. So, it didn't work very well. So you have to not let this other side of clear seeing, other side of seeing through the false images and forms and so forth, be too heavy and get too repressive. And obviously the most hyperbolic example is this born-again Christian group I'm referring to, with these centers where they heal people from homosexuality and get them into hetero marriages, which is quite weird. But anyway, you see how it can be helpful to make a nice decision, be aware, and really put some thought into who your partner is. If you've just been, typically, most people when we were growing up, you'd be in college or after college, and you'd wake up one morning and see the same person on your pillow over there, and you go, oh, I guess I'm in a relationship. That's right, it's about 10th time we slept together. I guess we're on something, huh? Yeah, okay. It was like such an afterthought, it wasn't clear seeing up front. So there's a positive aspect of that should be there. So here it's just running wild, doing whatever. I'm not saying that's bad, it's just unconscious. And here in the second stage, relationship takes the form of I'm making some kind of conscious choice. And that's on a full spectrum, they said, from totally diluted conscious choice pathologically to good conscious choice, about what's best for everybody involved. Then tell me, what would a stage 3 relationship look like? One founded on stage 3 principles. 2s, where's my, come on, you guys requested this.
It's hard because it's 2 people, so both have to have self-acceptance and be aware of the relationship and fully accept the relationship. There's like 3 things that you have to see: one partner, the other partner, and the relationship itself.
Yeah, don't bring it down so much because you never know where every player is going to be. But what would a stage 3 relationship look like? Obviously, it would have to have the person playing at minimum stage 3. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, in a way, it relates. But give us the characteristics of it. What would it look like?
I think it would be pretty relaxed. Like there wouldn't be a sense of this is your role and you have to complete this role. Like that would exist in a stage 2 relationship. Like you're the husband, so you must do these things. There would be much more of a like you're you and this is how you express through our relationship kind of attitude.
Could be. Would it preclude them having some form of understanding, like a verbal or written contract saying here's our different roles in the relationship?
No.
Not really. It just would be something that would happen more naturally.
Yeah.
There'd be more acceptance, understanding around it. Wouldn't be so rigid. Wouldn't have to be enforced at that point.
Yeah.
Understand? Yeah. What else? Emotional conflict a lot?
Less
Oh,
drama.
way less drama.
Yeah.
Right? Way less drama. Why?
Because everyone's accepting, or because they're accepting of themselves and of their role in the relationship.
Yeah, stage 3 is a quite psychologically mature stage, right? Very psychologically mature. I'm empowered. I know what I want. I'm in this relationship with you. I can't blame you for stuff that I chose, you know? That's a big characteristic of stage 3. Like, fear and blame pretty much die. You know, if it's an old ingrained habit pattern way down in your deepest part of your hind brain to blame people, it'll come up here and there. But it's not a deep motive or anything, you know. So blame and fear. Now you gotta remember, many people seek relationship in stage 1 out of fear. I didn't realize how many. You know, fear for different like the women that I saw in America, having lived on the East Coast, and then finished school in the Midwest, very different worlds, pretty much the two worlds of America, New York City and then Iowa. So I looked at those and got a lot of information. And pretty much the same situation I saw in general for women in the 60s, 70s, and 80s when I was there. It was in the general, now remember this is generally unconscious, we're talking about 98% of human beings are in stage 1, and maybe like 1.5% are in 2, and the rest are on the rest of the scale. See what I mean? So when you say, well, no, I'm not like that, don't get your back up, because I'm telling you, you're part of that 0.5%, of course. That's why you're here, sitting in the jungle getting Dharma teaching. So what I did see, though, was that women really did want some security. They thought that the man in the hetero marriage was going to give them that security, hetero relationship in general, marriage or just going out together. They was going to give them some kind of security. There was a felt sense of security. Even the macho or the different power size differential gave them that sense of security, of physically security, you know. Financial security, social security. There was all these different types of security I saw that women were actually verbalizing that they really wanted through a relationship. I thought that was fascinating. There was also, on the male side, they don't verbalize it, you know, but the fear is there too on the male side, the insecurity as well. And it basically for the men, it's kind of like, in general, it's a very, very primitive root kind of fear of being the one left out without a partner to stoop. And it comes down to it, right? It's very primal, that's very real. They won't really talk about it if they even know it, but that's what it's really about. It's very, very biological oriented in that way. So they're both in running out of fear in that way, right? Then there's the people that feel lonely and depressed and need fulfillment and they want relationships, and unfortunately I heard verbally many women say, yeah, I'm so lonely, I'm gonna have a kid. Many times. You ever run into that? many times. Astounding, I would say. Did you hear what you just said? Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm really lonely. I'm gonna have a kid. I want something to do. I want something to make me happy. Word for word. Did you just say you want someone to make a kid to make you, you're gonna have another being so it makes you happy? Yeah, I want to feel wanted by them and long, you know. Wow. And that's actually majority. So with that all, because it's like fear and emptiness and security, loneliness, you know, control. There's also relationships out of control in 1 and 2. Well, obviously that's the drama and passion of life. All that creates all that drama and passion. So there's a long way to go about saying that, of course, stage 3 is a very much lower order of magnitude drama level relationship, you know. Thankfully, because you know you're getting your own fulfillment at stage 3 psychologically by your own life in your own self. Not looking for your partner to like complete you, as the movies and books always say, right? And therefore, you really are coming together in a very conscious way and can produce something wonderful and beautiful. Yeah? That's the first, because the 3 is a big breakthrough. Stage 3 is the big breakthrough. It's the first level of energy awakening. It's the first level of compassion awakening. It's the first, all this kind of stuff. First time we're not, you know, afraid of our own base energies. See, if you're not afraid of your own base energies, then you don't fear them in your partner. Do you understand? If you're not afraid of your own base energies, you won't fear them in your partner. So if you've gone into your life and explored all those crazy energies, like we were just talking about at lunch, Aja was not here, so I was sharing all her wild college days experiences without her here. And you know, she went through all that and got through all that. So there was so much that she explored that she was very contented with where she is and who she is and knowing who she is. So to take on marriage was really no big deal at that point. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. So that's one of the qualities of 3. Less drama. That's good, right? A lot less drama. But not due to repression. That would be stage 2. So if you have people who think they should act a certain way in a relationship, who should never raise their voice and almost like the classic Asian child kind of situation, but in a marriage, then it's a stage 2 kind of thing. A repressed, controlling, even because I might have to not express because culturally we don't do that in relationships, you know what I mean? So it's cultural models have a lot to do with relationships and where they land on the 12-stage scale as well. True? Okay. Any comments or questions 1, 2, and 3 in relationships? Consuming the partner, known or unknown to you, that's the first overarching principle of stage 1 relating. You're consuming them. You're using them for some reason. They are an object and they fit into your world and your self-image in this way. X, 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 X. You figure it out. Know what I mean? Everybody clear? Controlling urges and having some basic standard of relationship and, you know, being clearer and more forthcoming with your inner world and so forth, and getting to meet more on that level, but still not here. Right? So this is very object-oriented unconsciously, very object-oriented consciously. Here we get that first what? Possible sense of, maybe in like a real spiritual sense, we do complete each other, or we mirror each other. It's nice, you know. We can fill and complement, and we can also bring up for our awareness things that we wouldn't otherwise, you know by ourselves. So, because this is the big thing about stage 3, your energy, your wild, chaotic energy, and your awareness are starting to harmoniously merge. Right? Wild, chaotic energy unchecked, stage 1. The dawning of some awareness that realizes you have wild, chaotic energy and is kind of very scared of it and keeps separate and tries to control it, stage 2. So you can see a mixed relationship. You can see a person with great, some kind of developed awareness on a stage 2 kind of level, marrying somebody that they feel a karmic relationship with who's at stage 1. So now we're talking about the people, not the stage of the relationship itself. You understand? So if you have a stage 2 person going out with a stage 1 person, it could be that I've got my shit together, I'm really controlled, and I'm going to show you how to do it. They're going to save you, you know. And then, of course, the stage 1 person is going to be radical and not wanting to be saved, and they're going to make a mess of it for the stage 2 person. So, see, the stage 2, stage 1 beings, it's not merged, you know. There's a fear of the energy, and that's what causes the repression and control of stage 2. So the stage 2 person is absolutely going to try to control the stage 1 person. How many times have I seen a stage 2 person in relationship really playing this kind of haughty, hierarchically spoken relationship role of, I really know what's going on here and I can help you with this, and you know, it's kind of the classic male fix-it kind of thing. So I see a lot of men at 2 perceiving, true or not, perceiving their female partner at 1, right? Because the feminine, sacred feminine, is represented by the chaotic energy of 1 anyway, which goes all the way through to 12, of course, and changes form all the time. But there's a classic thing where the man thinks, because of their left brain heavy way of being in the world, that they're much more aware. And they're going to reel in the crazy woman. I love that crazy woman. I'm going to reel her in. Once she gets a little more control, she'll be amazing. Like, control like me. You know, there's that kind of pride, you know. And it's all diluted, basically. But have you seen that dynamic? Do you know what I'm saying? For sure. In fact, that's the classic relationship in the East. It's even written about in text. Women were considered dangerous and wild with their energy and uncontrollable, and, you know, classic stage 1 description. Pure Kali without any control, and that's why Shiva has to manifest and start dancing with her to stop having her destroy the world, you know, this old myth. That old myth is playing right out of the people who wrote that myth, right out of their own projection of stage 1 and 2 in relationships. You understand? Right. Because the men forever have been associated with some type of emotional control and awareness, and women forever have been associated with tremendous power and chaos and drama. For 10,000 years at least, that's the picture. Before that, very different. Europe at least, 10,000 years, that's the picture. still around. Still people's motives in the relationship, still how they see it. Okay? So in 3, that samatva bhava of relationship is much smoother than that. I'm okay, you're okay, hey, let's go play together, you know. So it's a really new whole basis to start from. Yeah? Making sense, twos? Good? Would you see a stage 3 relationship having like a huge blow up in the future? Like you're married and 20 years later it's like blows up. Would you see that usually?
Stage 2.
Stage 3. No, because the energy, the quantity, the subject matter that would make the blow up possible is dealt with again. It's totally dealt with, right? I mean, a stage 1 relationship, both people at one. Wow, did you ever see that? I mean, no one's truthful. No one even knows themselves anyway, so they can't be truthful to the partner. They're just consuming each other. It's like crazy monkeys, you know. And stage 2 is so repressed, you know. So that could blow up. That can blow up. Stage 2 base type relationships, your classic 1950s America, middle America, Christian marriage, you know. And didn't they all end in divorce? You know, of course, because you just can't repress for too long, even if you're a Christian. Okay, so stage 3 then, just like it sounds. But have a sense of the psychological health that's here, that isn't here and here. And that's what makes this one much more of a stable experience, able to kind of weather the storm of life's problems. Because, you know, you don't blame. Blame is horrible in relationships. You know, it's just constant in stage 1 and 2 relationships. It's just constant. Blame, 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 blame. These people are really self-possessed as a beginner, you know, fairly self-possessed, psychologically complete. They're not going to blame everybody else for everything that goes on in the relationship, right? They have a lot better chance of making it through any karmic debris that comes up. These people don't have much chance of getting through. These people have no chance of getting through because they wouldn't even notice it's up. They'll think another chaotic, normal part of crazy life, you know. Break up and go to someone new. Everybody got it? Okay. So then we go to stage 4 relationships. What's the big characteristic there, just like stage 4?
Freshness of each moment and acceptance.
But and the relationship itself is teaching us something. That's the big 4 thing. In 3, it's, wow, you're nice and together and chill, and I'm nice together and chill. Let's have fun together. That's 3. You're meeting and you're learning how to play together. Just like in Ming's book, Monkey and Sage Meeting. Monkey hands a peach to Sage. There's this truce that's happening between your chaotic energy and your awareness energy, the Shakti and the Shiva. But they're not exactly like total buddies yet. But they're starting to meet and understand each other and look at each other. That's why it still has a dualistic sense to it. At 4, though, you come even closer. Closer to the non-dual, you're starting to get this sense that the relationship itself can teach me. So relationship at a stage 4 level is the relationship can teach me. It can show me what I don't see about myself, don't want to see about myself once I see it, all those things. And that's a very high order of relationship, very high order, because it means that when things come up that are very deep and profoundly disturbing, the first orientation toward them is, look at this knowledge and insight I'm getting. Look at this knowledge and insight I'm getting. Wow, this is great. Whereas 3, it kind of rocks the boat and pulls them apart a little bit for a while. 2, it makes them crazy and they fight. 1, they kill each other or divorce, you know. Understand? So when stuff comes up that should come up naturally in our lives as we adapt to life and go along, evolving spiritually, here, whatever comes up becomes the grist for the mill. We wanted it, it's interesting, it's showing me about myself, I dig it. It's not, you know, it may be scary. Leftover fears from here are still coming through. You know, fear is not annihilated till here, right? So it could be still scary. But that's a fear you're willing to explore. See? I kind of want to explore that. You know, it doesn't feel comfortable, but I'm so curious. So you say curiosity because insight is the major theme of stage 4. Insights will come through relationship. And that sense of opening each moment that Sukha was saying, you know, she's talking about freshness and so on. There's a sense in 4 that the relationship can't be projected out into the future and perfectly be known. We won't know how it's going to look in 30 years. You know that in 4. So this, and that's kind of like a nice thing. Instead of a disconcerting thing like stage 1 or 2, right? Stage 1 or 2, oh, my wife doesn't fit in the wedding dress anymore. It's only 50 years later and 13 kids, but I expect her to fit in the wedding dress. Oh my God, I always held the illusion that she would always be Miss America. Oh my God, you know. And it's totally delusional and unreal expectation and projection, right? And creates a lot of pain and suffering, right? And 4, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be, we don't really know what the future will be. We know that every time we stay right here with what's going on, something amazing seems to happen, you know? Harmony, learning, insight. Possibly our spirituality is cultivated. You know, this is where that inkling of, could this be that present moment thing? Is that good in relationships too? Is that possible that our whole path of spirituality incorporates relationships? Oh wow, you know, that's a really great stage of opening and wonder and insight. Yeah? Makes sense? And there's more union than at 3. 3 is the first possibility for union. You know, 2 is a Mexican standoff. And 3 is the possibility for union. And 4 is the going into the union. The active work of going into the union. Rather than just accepting, woman, man, I'm getting this game here. I want a peach. Like, tentatively, you want a peach? You know, it's a bit like that, really. I want to have a relationship, Manju? Should we try? Okay, you know. So it's a bit like that going in it, and you're enjoying it, but it's a bit like any minute you think it could blow up, because you're not really thoroughly saturated in confidence yet that this is working. But at 4, it's different. At 4, it's more like you're really arm in arm now, and we go along laughing together, and we have insights, and we share them, and we're all growing. And so we're starting to get the synergy of it. Synergy eventually will lead to some kind of fusion at 6 and 7, right? The Mahasiddha, the possibility for Mahasiddha stage relationship. What's that face for?
You jumped to 6 and 7 and then
Sure.
well,
Was it the English too fast?
yeah.
So 4, you're getting that more knitting together and really getting that not only do we have the potential to work together as 2 different beings, but 1 and 1 is 3. I like it now. I want it. So 4 is like you start to bring it on. But you still don't know the outcome. What is relating like down the road? I don't know. Just learning right now, and it's amazing. You know, it's amazingly difficult, it's amazingly rewarding, it's amazingly wonderful, but it's amazing all together, right? That's like a stage 4 based relationship, and that's really wonderful. Anybody comment on 4? 4 relationships, or wondering could this be a 4 thing or not be a 4 thing?
Does it begin to be revealed just like the nature of relationships? Just the nature of them.
In 4 you mean?
Yeah. Just
Does what get revealed?
the nature of relationships.
Oh, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a kind of big nature way.
Yeah, exactly.
Less
Very good.
personal.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, exactly. Because, right, this I'm unconsciously selfish. This I'm consciously selfish. This I'm not so selfish, but I'm starting to get that others might exist and we might be able to work together well. I'm just about to tempted to try it out, you know? Here I'm working together with somebody else. So, yeah, this idea that, how did you say?
The nature of relationships.
The nature of relationships, yeah. The nature of the connectivity. See, here, the nature of the inherent or innate, pre-existent, non-created connection between beings starts to reveal itself at 4. Because, oh wow, we're not actually like putting ourselves together. The more we hang out, the more I realize, even though you're a woman, I'm a man, we share more in common than we have as difference. And that's the basis of relating, wow, and that's the mirror thing, you know. So yeah, I think, sure, the very nature of relationships as showing us the unrealistic idea of dualism, as in 2 beings, you know, starts to be possible in 4 as well. Yeah, very good. Any other?
Is that like when you start to, the line starts to blur between you perceiving them as an individual partner in relationship to yourself, and you start to perceive them more as like an analogy for your union, like a Shiva Shakti kind of thing?
You could, at that level, begin that, honestly. 3 is the base for it happening, but 4 is where it would really first occur to you. And the possibility exists of even more than that. Like, yeah, in 2 as 1, 1 as 2. That idea could start to be understood, and inklings of that or intuitive moments of that could start to come out at 4. Very good. Understand?